All right, this is going to be notes 33, at least the first part, and we're going to talk about Pythagorean Theorem. So there is a lovely formula right here. Leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. You will oftentimes see this written as a squared plus b squared equals c squared, which means the exact same thing. A and b are the legs of the triangle, the right triangle, and b is the hypotenuse. So let's get into it and actually put it to a good use here. So for question number one, the first thing you would want to identify is, right, we've got a leg here, we've got a leg here. Now, how do I know that these are the legs? The legs of a right triangle form the right angle. So this little L shape here in the corner, that's the right angle. So these two pieces, which are the legs, form that right angle. If you use the right angle here, this little box, as an arrow, it is going to point, all right, to the third side, which is the hypotenuse. All right. And I'm going to spell that out, I think. Yes, hypotenuse. Now, what does this mean in terms of our equation? So leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So this is going to be 3 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared. Right? So leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. Now, whether you put the 3 first or the 4 first will not matter in the slightest. Let's go ahead and solve this. Let's see, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. I don't know what x squared is, but I'm going to write down x squared. 9 plus 16 makes 25. So 25 is equal to x squared. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And in this case, since x represents the length of the side of a triangle, x is only going to be a positive value. So there's no plus minus here. I'm just simply going to say that x is equal to 5. So I have solved for x. And that's it for problem number 1. All right, number 2 says find the missing side. So let's take a look. We've got a leg here. Right, form the right angle. That's going to be the other leg here. So we're looking for a leg this time. All right, so leg, and hypotenuse. Spell it all out. And if I look at, I'll use x for my variable because I'm a math person and that's what I tend to use. You could use L for leg if you wanted to. All right, so leg squared. So 4 squared plus, I'm using x squared, equals 12 squared. All right, so let's see. 4 squared is 16 plus x squared. 12 squared is 144. Now to solve for x squared, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 16 from both sides. So x squared equals, let's see what happens here. Borrow, whoop, that's a 3. 14, 8, 128. I think that's right. Minus, yeah, it's 128. So here's the thing. When I take the square root of this, unlike 25, I know that the square root of 128 isn't a nice, perfect answer. I know it's not, okay? So if I look at either perfect squares or I look at a prime factorization, something like that, I want to see if I can simplify that 128. And I'm thinking if I'm using my perfect squares, it's 64 times 2. So 64 times 2 is 128. Now you might be saying, well, why'd you pick 64? Well, 64 is a perfect square. And so when I take the square root of 64, that's going to be 8 root 2. All right. If you did this with prime factors, you would end up, I'm guessing, with a whole bunch of pairs of 2s with 1 2 left over. So it should still absolutely get you that same 8 root 2 answer. Okay. So that is the answer for problem number 2. Let's take a look at number 3 here. Now, number 3 doesn't have a picture, but of course we could draw one if we wanted to. So we have the right triangle. All right, there's my right triangle. So the 2 legs of a right triangle are 6 centimeters. So the 2 legs, 6 and 6. What would the length of hypotenuse be? I'll use C for hypotenuse. So 6 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared. That's going to be 32 plus 30. No, hold on. I lied. 6 squared is 36. All right, need a nap. And that one's also that. So let's see, 36 and 36 would make 72 for c squared. I'm going to go ahead and take the square root. Again, no plus minus because c is a hypotenuse, right? That is a physical length, so we can't have a negative. 72 is 36 times 2. I keep using perfect squares. So c is equal to 6 root 2, and this was in units of centimeters. So I can go ahead and answer in centimeters here. Okay. All right. So problem number 4 then. You travel 10 miles north, right? So 10 miles north, then 8 miles west. How far would you be from your original destination? Now, this is a 90-degree angle here. When you go from being directly north to directly west, that is a 90-degree angle there. All right, and that's going to be x for my hypotenuse. Now, 8 and 10 in this case are the legs of the triangle. So let's go ahead and set that up. 8 squared plus 10 squared equals x squared. 8 squared, 64. 10 squared is 100. So that's going to be 164 equals x squared. Let me think about this. I'm going to go ahead and use a factor tree here. So 164, if I break it in half, that would be 82. Break 82 in half, that's 41. I think that's going to be it. So I've got a pair of 2s and a 41, and that's going to be x, because when I took the square root, yeah, I think that's it. Oop, and I'll put miles, because I do know my units. All right, miles. All right, last but certainly not least, we're going to talk about number 5 here. All right, so number 5, for the Pythagorean theorem here, we've got a 12-foot ladder leaning against a house, base of the ladder. Okay, I'm not going to draw a house, but there's a wall of the house. We've got our lovely 12-foot ladder, and it says the base of the ladder is 8 feet away from the house. Now, we are going to make the assumption that the house and the ground do make a right angle. We don't have a weird leaning house or anything like that. All right, how high up on the house will the ladder be? So there's going to be my x. Now, your problem here, your right angle is the x side and the 8 side, so that is going to be a, those are the 2 legs. Let me get all my words in the right order in my brain before I try and say it. So x squared plus 8 squared equals 12 squared. So x squared plus 64 equals 144. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 64. Oh, hold on. Write the right numbers there. 64. My 6 and my 4 tried to join together. Let's see. That should be, I believe, 80. So yeah, 144 minus 64, that is absolutely 80. And then if I'm going to take the square root of both sides, 80 divided by 16, yeah, that's going to be 5 times 16. All right. Feel free with any of these problems where I'm using perfect squares. If you do factor trees, please do the factor trees. I promise you they will work. Okay, you've been using them for a while, so go ahead and do those. But for me, I'm going to do the square root of 80 is the square root of 16 times 5. Square root of 16 is 4, root 5, and this would be feet for our units. Okay, all right, I'm going to go ahead and close the video here for this particular problem, or this set of problems on Pythagorean theorem. Clearly, you can see we have a couple more problems on circles and squares. I'll do another video for those. If you have any questions or concerns, please do reach out and let me know. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one.